What's going on, you guys? This is Jerry Robles with the Long Beach Business Podcast. I want to thank you for tuning into today's episode. We had the privilege of talking to JSalez, a 25-year-old who talks about his journey of entrepreneurship, how he began and he got a taste at a very young age, found his journey into dancing, opening up a gym, and then also his ultimate love, which was music. Talks about everything and how you should actually chase your curiosity, and how if you have a passion for anything or you even want to try anything, go ahead and just jump in and do it. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share this video as well. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. So I'm very, very happy to have you here today, Mr. JSalez.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, letting me speak, and just letting me be here with my presence. So thank you.
We appreciate you, man. Once I had this podcast, one of the people I want to get on was you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I've seen what you've been doing, man. You hustle hard. You're always about positive vibes, sending people positive vibes. You're working. Your work ethic looks like none other. You just have like this focus, man, and you can see it.
Yeah, I do my best. Definitely do my best.
And that's what I love, man. Talking to people that even when you stepped in, right, it was like the energy. You bring in the energy, you feel it, and even if someone's feeling like down or just not wanting to do anything, like just that presence, that energy that you bring, like you can grasp it, you can really feel it. So
thank you,
man. So pretty much just gonna kind of talk about your journey.
100%. Let's do it.
So tell me a little about yourself. Tell people, how old are you? Where did you grow up? Just a little background on yourself.
Cool. Well, I'm 25 years old. I grew up in Corona, California, the IE. I moved out when I was 18. Nothing special in my childhood other than, I grew up singing mariachi to the age of 7 till my father left. But yeah, high school wasn't really like, I wasn't like super straight A student, wasn't an athlete like in any sports or things like that. I was just that kid. You know what I'm saying? I would talk to everybody. I wasn't really a part of a group of friends. I had friends there. Like when I would, during lunchtime, you know how you'll sit with your group of friends? Right. I would go to the football jocks and hang out there. Then I would go to my my Spanish friend who they all played soccer. I'll hang out with them. And so since I was a kid, I've always been very wandering. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I've never really liked to stick to one place. I always like to wander around and communicate. And so I was that kid, in high school.
You were always talking to everybody.
Yeah, man. I remember one time I played Yu-Gi-Oh with the Yu-Gi-Oh kids, and people were like, they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh with y'all." And I took out my deck, and they're like, "What? You play Yu-Gi-Oh?" I'm like, "Of course I do." So it's like I've always liked to do so many different things. I was never one to be, this is what I do, this is who I am, and that's it.
I'm a football player, and I'm just a football player.
Yeah, it was like I like football, but I like basketball, but I also like to play soccer. Like I've always been like that, since I was a kid. So when I moved out, I grew up very influenced by hip hop. My brother, does hip hop, and we had a recording session. We had a recording studio in the back of the house. Yeah. So every time I would go to high school, I would leave, sixth period. I would come home. People would be in the studio. We always had people at the house all the time. And I literally would wake up and there was like 3 dudes crashed out in our living room. And so I would always go back to the studio and it would always be like, artists trying to make it. Yeah. People making music. And I was always surrounded by that. I loved it, Obviously, fast forward, now I'm doing music. But at that time, it was I just enjoyed the environment of people just creating, So that's how I grew up in that area. My mom was an artist as well. Right. So I just grew up around just artists and music and entertainment and business, right? Because my brother also, ran a business since he was like 13 years old. So I witnessed him doing that. He was selling chihuahuas for like $8.50 to $9.50 a pop. And I remember, it's funny because I remember, when I got into like high school, 9th grade, he was like, "Hey, I want you to start, taking over the business," because he got into real estate. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And mind you, I just did what he did. So I back then the polos were in, right? The polos with the blue polo with the yellow symbol, and he wore a yellow shirt on the bottom. That was like the IE thing. So I did that, borrowed his clothes, put it on, lowered my voice, put on Animal Channel on the TV, and we used Penny Saver for marketing, got clients. And I remember one time I sold 2 dogs. I was in 9th grade. I sold 2 dogs. I think I made like $1,500. And bro, mind you, I'm ninth grade with $1,500 cash in my hand. I got all of it and I put it in my back pocket. And then I went to go play basketball with my boys, and I was like, bro, I just sold 2 dogs and I made all of this. I was like, you know how many pro clubs I could buy with all of this? I'm like, I'm gonna have every color. So yeah, man. So I grew up very entertainment business was like my come up, as a kid. So.
And that's crazy, man, because, once you get a taste of that, did you feel like you got hooked right away?
Yeah, I think it was not being a victim to like anything, right? So it was kind of my first taste of being like, damn, I got no money to doing something, and then I got money, So it was like, oh, so that's how it works. Like if I'm broke, all I gotta do is work hard, sell, and I got money now, So that was answered to me very early on in my life because of my brother, right? So I think when I figured that out, going through the 4 years of high school, it was very hard for me to grasp the whole idea of I gotta graduate, I gotta go to college, then I'm gonna graduate college and then look for a job and then work behind. So it was I didn't want to be a part of that system, off the bat, because again, I had a taste of what entrepreneurship was, as a young kid. So yeah, man, I remember I sold Chihuahuas, I sold pro club shirts for a cheaper price. My friends would be selling candies, you know what I'm saying, $1 a pop. And so I was just around that, and I guess I just kept that mentality my whole life.
And that's cool, man. And I know one of the things too, like you said, and I seen like on your post, right? Like you started singing mariachi when you were like 5.
Yeah. So my mom and my dad were both signed artists, during their time in Mexico. And growing up, we would go to rodeos and shows, and it wasn't like I was going out there and doing a 5 set, one set of 5 songs. It was I would go out there and sing like one song, where you couldn't even understand me because I was like 5. But I remember one time I sang in front of like 13,000 people, and I was like, this little kid shaking, and I started singing, and the crowd started applauding, and my mom was like, once you got that energy, you just went for it, And I think that was like definitely my first taste of, of being an artist at such a young age. So I was like, yo, this is addicting. Like I think being in the middle of good energy is one of the best feelings in the world. And I think that's one feeling that I want to feel for the rest of my life, whether it's in music, whether it's in dance, whether it's in speaking engagements. I think just being in the middle of just energy is unexplainable. And
that's something that it's a good feeling, right? When you feel that energy and you're just like, let me keep using this fuel to run.
Yeah.
And kind of just keep doing what I want to do and what I love.
For sure.
Because I feel like a lot of people are good at certain things, but they're not passionate about it. And sooner or later, like, they question themselves, like, why am I here?
For sure. And I think, going about that topic, I think it's because, in my opinion, we use this cliche saying, which is follow your dreams. Right? My opinion is very cliche, because some of us don't just wake up and go, I know exactly what's going to make me happy, fulfilled, successful, and that's what I'm going to do for my life. It's very rare, right? Yeah. Like I listened to this interview, and they compared sledgehammers to hummingbirds, right?
Okay.
A sledgehammer is somebody that off the bat, they know exactly what they want to do in their life, whether it's become a doctor, become a lawyer, become a dancer, become a musician, right? You have those people that like, oh, since I was 5, I knew I wanted to sing for my whole life, right? They become successful and they tell that story. But then you got people like myself that I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And when I kept hearing, because my brother, he was like a sledgehammer. Even though he did a lot of different things, he kind of knew what he was good at and what he wanted to do, right? So when you have someone like that in your life, you kind of put that as that's the norm. So when you don't feel that, you kind of put yourself down, right? You're like, damn, well, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I think I want to do music because I like it and I love it, right? But you do music, so should I? You start questioning every decision that you have, right? And that's okay. And that's why now I say chase your curiosity, right? Because if you're curious about something, then do it.
Yeah.
And that was how I felt after high school. I was like, well, I'm curious about fitness. Let me check this out.
Yeah.
Did that. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, I'm curious about dance. Let me do that. Boom, 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 boom. I'm curious about real estate. Let me do that. Boom, 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 boom. And now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like, wow, I really enjoy all these things.
Yeah.
My boulder, the thing that I can never take out is definitely music, because there's no feeling that I get when I'm in the recording studio or I'm singing or performing. But if it wasn't for me being curious throughout my whole life, I wouldn't obtained all the knowledge and experience that I have now, right? And I think that's what people need to, in my opinion, be okay with. It's like, yo, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I'm even passionate about any, let's say, marketing. I don't even know if I'm passionate about marketing.
Yeah.
But the greatest thing about it is, if you say you're gonna do it, then do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no half-ass, no, do it. You want to get into marketing? Do it. Get good at it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you do marketing, you're like, you know what? I don't really want to start an agency. But you go, hey, I want to be an artist. Well, guess what? All that experience that you just got being a marketer is going to help you be a successful artist. So
exactly, that's
why it's like, if you don't know what your passion is, or if you don't know what your dream is, then just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. You know, and what's great about that is all that stuff is going to help you when you do find your dream. Like, bro, right now for my music, I'm directing the videos. I'm doing the marketing campaigns. I'm doing a lot of things that artists typically don't do. Right. And my label is like, man, I tell artists all the time to familiarize themselves with the things that you know, because it's going to help them in the long run.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like, bro, with fitness, dance, like, mind you, fitness started when I was, and I'm just rambling on, so I apologize. But with fitness, I started when I was 19 years old, right? Okay. I had 0 clients. I was training people at my apartment gym, my brother's apartment gym, because I was at his couch, right? Okay. And it got to a point where I had enough clients to then rent out a gym. And then it got to a point where I convinced one of my, my clients, which was, my uncle, to open up a gym with me. And now I'm 25 and part owner of, Self-Made Training Facility Costa Mesa, right? With dance, I was like 21. I was like, yo, I really want to know how to dance bachata. I love the music, and I don't know if my hips need to move that way or that way, right? So I was like, let me start learning how to dance. Why not? Yeah. I went to this place called Steven's Steakhouse in Commerce. I met some friends. They were giving me some classes there, right? And they said, yo, go learn from this guy named Mike Zuniga. I linked up with him. He needed a personal trainer at the time. So I was like, yo, I'll train you in exchange for you train me. He was like, let's do it. We ended up becoming really great friends. I went to a festival. I fell in love. Now, 2 years in, I was like, you know what? Why not make a career out of this as well, right? Let me get my feet wet. Performed in my first time in Vancouver, Canada. Went really well. And, now I'm, well, obviously with COVID, but I was booked at least, one time a month, traveling the world, teaching, performing, and just dancing bachata. I started when I was 21. It wasn't like I started when I was 5 and I was like, I took ballet when I was 5. No, it was like, yo, I was 21. I said, I want to do this. And I danced every single day, bro. You know what I'm saying? I joined Mike's team. I then went to this amazing company called MG Dance. And, I learned. And then, I stemmed off with, my ex-partner, and then we made something happen. And now it's like, I joined this company called Island Touch Pro, which is one of the biggest companies. Everybody knows who Ataca en la Mana is, right? In the bachata scene. I joined them, and it's crazy how I started when I was 21. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think now, being 20, when I was 24, I was like, I want to start music now, because I got the confidence of doing all these things. Yeah. I might have, fitness wasn't, I can't say it's my dream. I can't say dancing bachata around the world is my dream. It might be somebody else's, but it's not mine. Yeah. When I realized music was my dream, I was like, well, now I have the confidence, right? Because it's not too late. It's never too late. Yeah, exactly. Right? Shit could change in a year or 5, but it doesn't matter. No matter what, a year and 5 is going to happen. Decided to do music, and I released, bro, I think I was in my car listening to reggaeton. I bought a beat on BeatStar. I wrote Fiel. I went to Miami. I recorded it, got back, released it in August, got hit up by my current label, DF Records, and I got signed with them in January of this year.
Congrats.
You see what I'm saying? Thank you. So it happened so quick, but I'm like, nah, that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things just align where it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and at the end of the day, when I met with them, it was kind of like, it didn't feel as if they were coming in like, yo, we're going to put you on our backpack and carry you. It was more like, yo, we're going to shake hands. We're going to do this together.
Exactly.
Because I came in with all the other, knowledge and experience that I had in my past and was able to present that to them and be like, hey, I know how to do marketing. I've done bachata. I know how to dance Latin, which a lot of, reggaeton cats don't know how. And, I came in with a package. It wasn't just like, hey, I think I'm friendly to the eye and I think I could sing. What's good? It was like, nah, hey, dude, this is what I could offer and this is what I think we could create and let's make this legacy. I'm like, I want to be one of the most influential Mexican Americans, right next to people I look up to like Selena and, et cetera, et cetera. So they were like, yo, that vision, let's do it, and now we're here. So my whole life has been, I am just this curious hummingbird that just goes to different flowers and gets nectar. And now that I found my flower, I brought nectar from like all these types of flowers to one flower. Now I've got this fucking hybrid crazy flower. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically, that has been my life,
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, right?
and there's so much things that I want to pick off of there. Cause
of course, no, go. I just ran. I think I probably answered like 3 of your questions. You're like, man, you messed me up with my questions. But I just wanted to just go in.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, man. Like, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, that energy and, how focused you are, because, and one of the things that I like to say is, being curious and like go on and try it, because there's people that always say, oh man, I wanted to do that. I
100%.
wanted to do that. And
100%.
You can, I know you probably have more goals and more aspirations and things that you want to reach in life.
Yes.
But to hear what you're saying and knowing like, hey, I want to do this, so I did it.
Yeah.
Living your life with like no regrets. Like, and one, like, dude, you're, like I've seen your dances and amazing dancer, man.
Thank you.
If I can dance, I got 2 left feet. So,
but if you can walk, you can dance. Right? If you can walk, you can dance.
I can do, a little. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's crazy because everything that you do, right? Everything that you did, the marketing, staying fit, dancing, the music. Because right now you say your ultimate dream is to be a musician, right?
For sure. Yes.
To be an artist.
Yeah.
All that goes together because
100%.
You're doing music videos. You need to learn. Obviously, you see like all the artists, they 1-2 step or
100%.
they just move side to side and they have everything else going on in the background.
100%.
But you're someone that can actually say like, I know how to dance. Like,
yeah.
Let me put this video together.
Yeah.
And all that, the marketing together, the dancing and everything, being fit, like all that kind of, I feel like.
Yeah, all aids it. All of it.
Exactly. Everything aligned for you.
100%.
And if you weren't so curious and to say like, I'm going to try it out, like who knows what kind of route you would have gone in.
And that's the biggest thing, man. It's like, I think a lot of people, in my opinion, don't start something because they're afraid of not achieving it to the extent of somebody that has been doing it for so many years.
Right.
Right. And they're like, well, I don't want to make a fool out of myself, or I don't want to fail, or, things like that. If I could, man, I've put so many ideas together that have not gone anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, out of the 100 that I put together, 3-4 of them really fucking went somewhere, right? Yeah. And I think when it comes to like, let's put dance perspective, right? If somebody would have told me, hey, you're going to start, you're 21 years old, so you're starting late. There's a lot of competition out there. So it's going to be very rare for you to even get hired at these events or, really make something out of this that you want to do.
Right.
If I would have listened, I would have never done it. If I would have, listened to the criticism of people saying, "Oh, you just started dance, you're not gonna be world famous, or you're not gonna get booked every single weekend," I took it as, "Yo, I don't care if I was booked at one place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? A year. The fact that I'm getting the experience of traveling to bro, I didn't even have a passport before I started dancing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how to get a passport, to be real. You know." And if it wasn't for dance, I would have never gone to France. So I would never gone to Chicago. I would have never gone to New York, et cetera, right? So for me, I'm like, I don't compare my success to anybody else's, right? Because if you're booked every single weekend, good for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that you have that success. But hey, I was booked, X amount of times, and for me, that's success because I would have never had that if I did not decide to go after it. Right. And I feel like when people then start comparing their success to others, they belittle their success when it's like, no, you don't understand what you are going through. Millions of people will never experience because they simply cannot. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And that's a huge reason why I'm so proud to be American. It's because like, if it wasn't for where I grew up, I would have never been able to achieve any of this. I could have got born in a third world country where it's like, I don't even got a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? You got people here complaining about Wi-Fi. So it's crazy. But yeah, man, I think it's just saying you're going to just do it and just do it. And going all in. And if one day you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, cool, do something else. Yeah. But as long as you're just doing something and putting your heart and soul into it, that's all that matters to me, right? Yeah. That's what matters to me. I'm like, as long as I'm moving forward, it doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. As long as I move forward, I'm good.
And that's the thing, like I mean, and it has to be too, like we're working out or dancing, like you're like, man, that step or that choreography seems impossible for me to even learn. Yeah. And it can be intimidating, right? Because even to me, like I'll see dancers and their choreography, and I'm just like, how the heck did they like learn that and
for sure
know like, oh, I gotta spin 3 times this way and I gotta dance and I gotta like make sure
just
I spin
memorizing it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So how was it like dancing? Was it easy for you to pick up? Because obviously, I mean, you grew up with music. Yeah. Obviously, you were around a lot of music, so naturally you want to dance, right?
For sure.
So was it kind of easy for you to get into dance, or was it difficult? Or talk to me a little bit about that.
You know what? It was easy in the sense of I did pick it up fairly quickly, right? Mm-hmm. But if you put into perspective, I was training with Mike Zuniga, which is, a huge bachata instructor. Yeah. Very, very great instructor. I was lucky to have him be my first one, right? I was training with them 1 hour, 3 times a week. Okay. I was social dancing every single day. Bro, there's social dances. It's crazy how many social dance scenes there is in Orange County, Los Angeles. So every night, bro, I was going out social dancing. So yes, in 3 months, did I progress rapidly? 100%. But every single day I did something. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I remember my first class, I went, and it was an intermediate class. Bro, I was there for like maybe 10 minutes, and I was like, I got to get out of the circle. Because I was like that guy that did not know anything. And I just watched. And I said, okay, give me a month, and I'm gonna go back in there, and I'm going to do it. Because, again, I was like, how are people remembering how to do all this in an hour? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I got lost after the first 3 8 counts, right? But it's just when you continuously do it, you then go, it's not that hard. Okay, let me keep going. It's not that. And you just keep, it's levels, right? Yeah. It's literally to everything, right? Right. It's like if you play a video game. You're playing Call of Duty. Level 1, you're at it. I'm like, that's pretty good. This is pretty easy. All right, cool. Yeah. Level 2, you die. You're like, damn, I died because the guy in the corner shot me, and now I'm standing up, and I need to kick cover and squat and shoot him. You play it again. You kill the guy, you go to level 3. Yeah. Level 3, you're like, okay, now you know how to squat, aim, and fire. So now you're more equipped than you were at level 1, level 2. So now you're hitting level 3. Level 3, you're like, okay, I need to learn how to slide and aim quicker. Because I'm not going to beat level 3 unless I know how to slide and aim quicker, right? You do that, you learn, boom, level 4. You're like, okay, this gun sucks because this gun is not killing them fast enough for level 4. I got to upgrade my gun. I got to invest into my gun, right? You invest in that's life, right? I come into bachata and I go, all right, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Let me hire somebody, right? Because they know. Instead of me trying to figure it out, I'm going to hire somebody because this is what they do as a profession. I hire them, I figure it out. Go to level 2, choreography. I'm like, damn, I do not know choreography. So, what's the secret to this choreography thing? Well, you just have to develop that in your brain. You have to learn how to memorize. Okay, so the more I do it, the better I'm going to get? Yes. Okay, cool. That's the answer to it. The more I do it, the better I get. The more I start doing it, the better I get. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that was my process. And then it got to a point where I was like, all right, I felt there was a point in my dance, I guess, life that I was like, I'm not getting challenged. I don't feel challenged. I
Yeah.
always like putting myself in uncomfortable situations. So I was like, I don't feel challenged. Can I improve in this sector? Of course. But I'm like, if I could just push myself a little bit further,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna improve a lot more. So I told, my partner at that time, and I said, hey, let's just do a bachata choreography and perform it. You need somebody in Vancouver because her current partner couldn't go for specific reasons. She was like, hey, come with me to this event, perform with me, and that could be your first performance. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Again, uncomfortable situation, bro. I'm performing me and another person, ourselves on one stage in front of hundreds of people. Nerve-wracking as fuck, right? I did it, and I was like, yo, this is dope. I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
It could have gone both ways, right? It could have gone, I want to keep doing this, and I'm like, why the hell do people do this, right? But it's, again, putting myself in uncomfortable situations and just saying, fuck it.
Yeah.
If I fuck up,
Who cares?
who cares? You know what I'm saying? I messed up. People are going to be like, damn, bro, you messed up. They probably get a video clip of it, make a meme. It is what it is. 3 months later, no one even remembers I messed up.
Yeah.
But at least I got either I want to do this or I don't want to do this.
Exactly.
And that to me is far more important than a comment of somebody that I don't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was basically my process. It was just, bro, I tell everybody this. They're like, I want to get into it, but I just have 2 left feet, or I don't know if I'm starting too late, or how do I even get gigs? And I'm like, just jump in.
Yeah.
Like swimming. You think you're gonna know how to swim right now? You just jump in. You're like, oh shit, if I do this and I move my feet, I'm gonna, or just step back and float. You know what I'm saying? It's just jumping in.
Exactly.
And that's just what I did, and luckily I didn't sink.
Yeah. And there's some really good things he said in there, right? So one of them, it's like you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's first.
100%. Yes.
Like whatever you're doing, you just gotta jump in. You gotta get, even if you feel comfortable, like you'll never know how good you're gonna get unless you get in there and find out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Get in the dirt. And the other thing that like you have to invest in yourself. That's what a lot of people don't want to do. And that's one of the most things that you have to do is really invest in yourself. Whatever, if it's dancing, like, oh man, these shoes suck for dancing. Like,
let me get better shoes.
Let me get better shoes.
Better,
Yeah, like, you know what? Like, this instructor can only show me so much. I need to find someone else that's going to
100%.
help me even level up even more.
100%.
Because I love what I'm doing. I love dancing. I love the choreography. Like, I really want to see if I can make this go even further.
Yeah.
And you start looking, and like you said, you would not know how many scenes are for social dancing until you get into that and you start investing in, like, doing your homework. Like, where else can I start dancing?
100%.
And, putting in the time. That's a lot of things that people want to see results like this.
And that's the thing, too, is like, because I'm also very impatient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very impatient being. When I was 17 years old, I did this meditation thing to find my spirit animal, right? Mm-hmm. And meditated, and then it was a tiger, right? And at first I was like, man, that's just a cool animal. My mind's playing tricks on me. I just want to say it's a tiger. But then I researched it, and it said your spirit animal is supposed to teach you something that
Mm-hmm.
you really need in your life, and it was patience, right? Yeah. That's tigers will not strike unless they know they're gonna kill.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, okay, I need to be more patient. But if I say, okay, music, if I go, I want to be a known artist by 2021, somebody's gonna look at me and be like, bro, you just started doing music 2019.
Yeah.
That's bro, it takes people years to accomplish that. And I'm like, bro, I'm not saying I'm like gonna, like, if I do, great. If I don't, great. But guess what? Because I'm gonna have the work ethic that I want to accomplish that by 2021, I'm gonna get there so much faster than if I say, I want to 2030. I'll give myself 10 years, right? And it's like, nah. Go at it as if you want to accomplish this shit tomorrow. Understand if you don't push yourself. Like, I think the biggest thing with patience for me is like, don't put yourself down if you didn't hit that target. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'm like, damn, I didn't accomplish this, so that means I failed. Nah, you didn't accomplish this, but look at everything you accomplished. Now you're just at a higher level. So this right here that you want, you're a lot closer. And that's what I'm saying. That's what matters, right?
Exactly.
An inch up the hill becomes a mile,
Exactly.
right? So that's, I think, for me, the mentality people need to come in with is like, yo, it's not going to happen overnight, but it can happen very quickly if you work really hard, you're dedicated, and if this shit is something that you love to do, you're going to feel the energy.